All right, here's something I came across and I didn't see before. And I think this is why perhaps 99% of Christians get this wrong when they're reading their Bible. And I'm going to help you understand what this whole Bible is about in this video. So if you like this kind of thing, if you want to learn how to read the Bible properly in its entirety, I'm going to suggest to you that you spend a lot of time reading the Old Testament, not just the New Testament. I would say dive into the Old Testament a little bit more than the New Testament, because if you can understand a little bit of the Old Testament, the New Testament will come to light as well, and vice versa. So hopefully that makes sense. So let's go to Acts chapter 2, and this just jumped out at me. And when the day of Pentecost was fully come, they were all with one accord in one place. And suddenly there came a sound from heaven as of a rushing mighty wind, and it filled all the house where they were sitting. And there appeared unto them cloven tongues like as of fire, and it sat upon each of them. And they were all filled with the Holy Ghost, and began to speak with other tongues as the Spirit gave them utterance. And there were dwelling at Jerusalem Jews, devout men, out of every nation under heaven. Now when this was noised abroad, the multitude came together and were confounded, because every man heard them speak in his own language. And they were all amazed and marveled, saying one to another, Behold, are not all these which speak Galileans? And how we hear every man in our tongue wherein we were born. So the Jews are looking around and they're seeing all these people from all over the place speaking in their language, in their tongue. Could they perhaps be speaking Hebrew? Everyone that is around speaking, so that the Jews understood what was being said. Ancient Hebrew. Could this be possible? Because again, they're saying, how we hear every man in our tongue where we were born. I used to look at that and go, well, this is the Egyptians, they're saying something, and the the Pygaria, the Libyans, about Cyrene, strangers of Rome. Like, I used to think they were all speaking in their language. But it doesn't make sense when you read it from the perspective of the Jews. They're looking at all these people that are from other nations, and they're going, how is it that we can understand them in our tongue? So think about it for a second. All these other people are speaking their language, one language. I'll go down because they're all confused. They're like, what does this mean? Why are they all speaking our language? This is our language. Why are they all speaking our language? Others were mocking, saying, these men are full of new wine, all this. But Peter, standing up, said, Ye men of Judea, and all ye that dwell in Jerusalem, be this known to you, and hearken unto my words. For these are not drunken, as ye suppose, seeing it is but the third hour of the day. And then he goes on to talk about what the prophet Joel says. And it shall come to pass in the last days, saith God, I will pour out of my spirit upon all flesh, and your sons and your daughters shall prophesy, and your young men shall see visions, and your old men shall dream dreams. On my servants, my handmaids, I will pour out in those days of my spirit, and they shall prophesy. I will show wonders in heaven above, and signs in the earth beneath, blood, fire, vapor, smoke. Shall come to pass that whoever shall call on the name of the Lord shall be saved. Ye men of Israel, hear these words. Jesus of Nazareth, a man approved of God among you by miracles and wonders and signs which God did by him in the midst of you, as ye yourselves also know. So he goes on and on and on about how Jesus died. But this shows me the main concept the main idea of what this whole Bible is about, and that is the restoration of the 12 tribes of Israel. So probably 99% of the Christians get this wrong, and they think, oh, I am reading a Jewish Bible. This is a Jewish Bible. No, this is not a Jewish Bible. Jew is short for Judah. After King Solomon died, you have 12 tribes. 10 of them split into northern Israel. The other 2 tribes became Judah. So you have Judah, you have Benjamin, and you have the Levites. They all became Judah. And eventually what happened is Judah got carried away into captivity to Babylon. The 10 northern tribes got carried away to Assyria. And Judah came back after 70 years from Babylon. And it's in Nehemiah. But the 10 tribes of Israel, the northern tribes, did not come back. They were dispersed throughout the world. So you have to read this from this perspective that in Jesus' day, when they're talking about Israel, they're talking about the 12 tribes. When the Jews are looking at non-Jewish people, that's what they're looking at, people that are not from Judah. And my whole world opened up once I realized what this Bible is about. This Bible is about the restoration of the nation of Israel. You have to read the Bible this way. You have to read it from the perspective of, especially when you get into the major and minor prophets, what is God doing to restore the 10 tribes that disappeared? They had a certificate of divorce. How is God going to restore them back? Because when you look in the book of Revelation, you see all 12 tribes there. So how does that happen? That's what this whole Bible is about. And this is why Jesus came back, was to restore the nation of Israel, all 12 tribes. So hopefully that makes sense. I know it gets complicated sometimes, but if you're reading it from your lens from North America, it's very difficult because we're trying to grab we're trying to grab verses from the Old Testament and the New Testament and apply it to our life when you have to read the entire Bible. And when you read the entire Bible, you begin to see that, wow, everything is about restoring the nation of Israel to its former glory, which was the 12 tribes of Israel. And we don't see that today. So anyways, hopefully this makes sense. And if you like this kind of thing, don't forget to subscribe. And I'll see you in another video. Bye for now.